we talk about fibroids, we bring awareness, we share all types of information to different, to ladies around the world who suffer with fibroids. And so I wanted to jump on here and close out this Friday because I this week was really tough for me. Although I do not have fibroids anymore, my story is after all of the surgeries that I've had, I still have issues. I had a hysterectomy or a partial hysterectomy, which means that they took my uterus, they took one of my ovaries, but I still have one left, and I still have my cervix. And so with that, I still have all types of complications. And this week brought about complications. And so I had to take a break. My team, Suninger, thought that it was best for me to take a break and just rest because I do have cysts on my ovary that ruptured. My stomach was inflamed and all of those things. And so that's why I wanted to get on here and to talk about fibroids and bring awareness so that women can know the symptoms of fibroids, to know how that they have options. They don't have to have a hysterectomy, but also how to deal with them. And I invited you because I wanted to get a little bit of a male's point of view when it comes to fibroids and dealing with women who have fibroids, and just to educate the men. So let's get into it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you want to start with that?
Yeah, so what I do want to start with is that I pinned the link for USA Fibroid Centers. Ladies, if you are suffering with fibroids, if you aren't sure, if you want to ask questions, click on that link. Go to usafibroidcenters.com, schedule a consultation. It is so important with Women's History Month. We talk about all of the things that we do, all of the accolades, and all the things we do as women in business and all of that stuff, but we also need to make sure that we're talking about our health as well. And so I think it's important for us to check on our health, our sexual health, and something that we don't talk about a lot, but it's something that, we need to make sure that we're doing. And so that's what this is all about. And for those of you who don't know what fibroids are, they are non-cancerous tumors that form in different places in your uterus, outside of your uterus. It causes a lot of pain, a lot of bleeding, and a lot of the symptoms are heavy menstrual cycles, longer than normal cycles, painful urination, lower back pain, painful sex, all of those things. For me, I knew that something was wrong when I was having my cycles. Like, they were like, and well, you were younger, but as you started to get older, you knew they were like, oh my God, months at a time. And so they went on and on and on and on and on. And so that's when I realized it was something wrong with me. And while I won't get deep into um, all of the things that I went through because it was a lot, I will say that I am thankful for USA Fibroid Centers and providing this platform for women to know that we have options, that we don't have to have a hysterectomy. I had a hysterectomy when I was young, and you all were fairly young, where I could have had more children, but because I didn't know the options that were out there, I had a hysterectomy. And so what USA Fibroid Centers offers is a procedure called UFE, uterine fibroid embolization, where they go in and they cut off the circulation to the fibroids, which causes them to shrink and to go away. It's minimally invasive, and so you don't have to go through the whole hysterectomy and all of those things that I went through. And again, as a result of all of my surgeries, I've had 11 abdominal surgeries. Every now and then, I still go through a lot of pain and a lot of issues and all of that stuff. So, with that being said, let's get Mel's point of view about fibroids and what do you know about them?
Um, I know it's non-cancerous, like you said, and I've sat in on the USA Fibroid event, so I think I'm well-rounded as far as like what it may look like for different people, things that it that could happen and things that bring awareness to it, like, or bring your attention to it, like this is what's going on with your woman. So I think I got a good tool belt when it comes to that. But I think I first like to thank USA Fibroids because they are, just from their events, the things that they put on and how they carry it like it's a, which it is a very important matter for women, and it's something that I don't think a lot of people paid attention to
Mm-hmm.
because it's definitely amongst most colored women and stuff like that. So they don't, it's not really shed a lot of light shed on it. So um, I definitely applaud them for taking it to the extent that they take it, to hosting the events and posting daily and things of that nature, and having ambassadors such as yourself. And I'm grateful for that because we never know. You know, you never know when someone's going through something, and to lose somebody behind something so that can be fixed with
Mm-hmm.
something small and so simple. I think it's a blessing to have. And then, as far as dealing with someone with fibroids or having a partner or a spouse or a parent or anything of that nature, um, I think the most important thing is to be supportive. That's a that's a whole nother lesson of being supportive. But I think being supportive is key, and you should always be supportive, regardless of what it is, what it may look like. You got to stand in the gap sometimes when that person's not able to do, not able to take care of themselves, or carry out their daily tasks, which you weren't after your surgeries. We definitely had to do certain things that at our age probably wasn't popular to do, but
Mm-hmm.
taking care of the person is not always what it is you think it's going to be, or unexpected sometimes. So we definitely had to step up to the plate and do what we had to do as young as we were. But I think being supportive and being there is two key factors that I think guys can take away from me. I'm young, but I definitely experienced enough to know.
And that's actually, what is your like? What do you, because you were like up front, you were front and center with, even before before fibroid centers and the events and all of that stuff, the education and awareness that we bring about. But what was it like for you seeing these things? Like, you had to know about fibroids at a young age. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I'm almost positive it's not a lot of males your age that knows about fibroids and what comes with it and all of that stuff. So what was that like for you at a young age? And then what can you tell young men your age now about dealing with it and about, supporting and educating themselves? Because a lot of times, you know, guys your age are not going to take the time to educate themselves. Like, they don't care about no fibroids. Like, what? They're young, they're out here, they're dating and all of that stuff. No, they're not serious. Or I'm not going to say they're not serious, but they don't know enough about it to say, hey, I probably should look more into this. So what is that like for you, at your age, knowing what you know now, as opposed to what you were learning back then? And what can you tell people, guys your age?
um, I'll tell guys, care enough, care enough to ask questions, care enough to be present, care enough to go to them doctor's appointments, or care enough to just ask a simple question, hey, are you okay?
Mhm.
Even though, and then dig deeper. Because I think sometimes we do that surface level, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, and then that's that. But dig deeper. If you notice something wrong, care enough to keep asking, or keep, picking at it until you get the answer that you want, or that you think can not only satisfy you, but satisfy that person and help you guys move together as a unit. Even if it's not your spouse, if it's a sister, cousin, friend, whatever, ask so that you can be that backbone, that support that that person may need in that moment. So I think you should care enough, and two, take it upon yourself. Take the extra mile. I know sometimes it's comfortable to have conversations with people, or dig deep, but taking the extra mile can change the entire situation. So take the extra mile, do the research. If they mention fibroids, you don't know what it is, ask questions, and then go do the research, and just be that person that people need. I feel like we got comfortable with casual things, casual conversations, casual sex, casual relationships, instead of breaking the surface and getting deep.
And
doing it.
I think the other thing is for guys who don't even know what fibroids are, I think that it's important to take notice to your woman's cycle. Like, every month around this time, she's supposed to have a cycle. What does it look like? Is it heavier? Is it longer than normal? Like, after her cycle, when you're having sex, is it painful for her? Like, all of those things. Is she always tired? Does she always want to eat ice? Does she have different craves that you don't? You know what I mean? Like, different things that, I think that guys should take notice of. Um, you know, sometimes she may be going through a certain number of pads per day. Like, you look in the trash can and, just say, hey, you bleeding longer than normal. Like, it wasn't like this last month, or, you know what I mean? Different things like that. So like you said, really, really taking notice and paying attention and knowing what to ask about, or, knowing what to draw attention to, because, like, you say a lot of guys don't even know what fibroids are, but if you know that your woman's cycle is longer than normal, or different things about her, then that can raise a red flag, and you can say, hey, this isn't right. Like, maybe you should get that checked out. Again, I suffered for so long because I didn't have the information, didn't have the education. It was just like whatever the doctor said, I just had to get it done. Or I'm not gonna say I had to get it done. I got it done because I didn't know that there were other options out there. And so again, I'm so thankful for, the platform that we have to be able to visit other avenues, and just to have that other option, and just to have those conversations that we didn't have back then, and to ask the questions, because a lot of times you go to your OBGYN and the first thing they're going to say is a hysterectomy. They're not going to tell you, oh, there are other things, or you should think about this or that. And so again, USA Fibroid Centers, I'm so thankful for them. The link, I pinned the link, and I will say over and over again, make sure, ladies and even gentlemen, if you think your woman having, something's going on, call the number and say, hey, what should I do? My lady, or my girlfriend, or my wife, or my auntie, my sister, whomever, I'm noticing these things about her. Is this normal? What can I do? Or what should I say to her? Because, it's not all the time that the women are thinking of making those calls either, because we feel like, as women, this is Women's History Month, we got to keep going. Like, that's, for me this week, I felt like I needed to keep going. Like, even though my stomach was looking like I was 20 months pregnant and I was in so much pain, but I felt like I needed to keep going because so many people depend on me. There are things that I need to do. I need to do this and that and be this place and that place. And so women think that they have to keep going. So, the men in our lives, like, it's okay to make that phone call, or to make that executive decision like you had to this week, to say, hey, you need to take a break. Let's figure out what this is. Like, something isn't right. And I think a lot of times the men probably just feel like, oh, this is her time of the month, let me just give her space. When in all actuality, we don't need space. Like, we need somebody, like you said, to be all in our business. Like, girl, what's going on with you? This ain't right. Like, you messed up the bed or whatever, and not in a condescending way, but in a way of, this isn't normal because it's never happened before.
That's it. So for men, I haven't seen a lot of men at the events. Is it an open thing? Because I see that is majority women. I'm not sure if men get invites or nothing like that.
So it is open. It is open for men. And that's the thing. We want to get more men involved so that they can take it back to the communities and their households and all of those things, so that they can have the information that they need. So definitely, men are welcome. We need y'all to know what's going on with us. We need y'all to know how to support us, to encourage us and help us, and to be there for us, because not only does this affect our bodies, but it affects our emotions, it affects our mentals, it affects so many different things. And so when we have men in our lives, or when we have men that are educated on what we're going through, it just makes it better, and it makes it easy for us, to be able to go through what we're going through, and what we're going through, and how to help us and how to support us and encourage us, because we definitely need that when we are going through these things. Because again, it's not easy. And if you're in a situation like me, when I had my surgery, it it was a whole ball of things that happened after that. And so if men, don't understand that these are possibilities that could happen, and so this is how I need to be able to be there for her. It could put a lot of stress and strain on relationships and marriages and all those things. So definitely it's open to men. We encourage men to come. We want more men to come, more men to talk about it. And so that's why we're going to start doing these Fibroid Fridays every Friday, because we want to get the men involved. We want to give, the men as much information as possible so that they know how, to be there and to support us.
And you mentioned earlier, intro D. How you say that? I never knew how to say that.
Endometriosis.
And what is that? What does that pertain to?
So endometriosis is where the lining of the uterus is like it could be too thick. It could be, different things that go on with the lining of the uterus. And so that causes a lot of issues and problems and bleeding as well. So that's why it's important, again, for us to know what's going on with our bodies, to educate ourselves. If things aren't right, if it doesn't feel right, that's where a lot of the cramping come from, because the lining of the uterus is so thick, and it sheds off every month when you have your cycle. So that's where a lot of the pain comes from. So that's what it is. And so, again, we need to educate ourselves so that we can know and we can get the right help, and to know that we're not dealing with these things on our own. Like, we don't have to suffer in silence. We don't have to suffer by ourselves. There is help out there, like USA Fibroid Center.
And USA Fibroids picking that up, or is it something that they're looking into? I mean, it all deals with uterus and stuff like that. So is it common ground, or?
So, for what USA Fibroid Centers, what we're doing and what they specialize in is UFE, again, uterine fibroid embolization. And so that's dealing with the fibroids. Making sure that women have minimally invasive procedures to get rid of those fibroids, as opposed to a hysterectomy and myomectomy, all of those other things. So that's what USA Fibroid Center specializes in, UFE.
Okay.
And so, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go out here and tell somebody UFE, UFE, UFE. Yep.
Like a wrestling match or something, right?
Surgery, nothing. You just go in there and you walk out cool.
And that's the thing, you don't, again, with UFE, you may be down for a week. Some, different bodies handle it different ways. But with the hysterectomy and a myomectomy, both, you're down for weeks at a time. You're out of work. You can't do anything. The recovery time is way longer. And again, if you're in my situation, um, my recovery, I'm still recovering from a hysterectomy that happened years ago, because of all the subsequent surgeries that I had to have because when they did my hysterectomy, they fell in my intestines. And so that's why it's so important. Again, UFE, go to the website, usafibroidcenters.com, schedule your consultations, talk to someone. We will answer your questions. We'll give you all the information that you need so you don't have to go through what we went through, what I went through.
What if people want to call and speak to you directly? Is that a option?
They can reach out to me via my social media pages. They can inbox me, send me messages, ask any questions they want to ask. I am available. I will walk them through the steps of going to USA Fibroid Centers. Anything they need, that's what we're here for. All of the ambassadors, they can reach out to any of us, inbox us with your questions, with your concerns, the things that you want to know. Absolutely, we are available for people to reach out to us and to, get the information if they want to have a more personal, one-on-one with us. Absolutely.
Cool.
And so with that being said, I wanted to make sure that I jumped on here again, because I did have an event that was supposed to take place on Wednesday, my Pink Purpose Party, which was postponed because of my health issues. I have to make sure, even though I wanted to go ahead with it, my body just completely shut down. Like, I just was not, and I'm still not 100%. I'm still in pain. The swelling is still there. But the whole party was, to help women to step into second quarter in their purpose, on purpose. And we will still have the pink purpose party. We're still going to, we'll post a date, the new date, but I wanted to, just jump on here and just let the ladies know that I'm still here. Even though I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with, a lot of times we as women, like I said, we want to keep going because there's so many things for us to do. We have so much on our plate and so many things that are on our shoulders, but we have to take the time for us. And that's what Women's History Month is about, celebrating the women and their accomplishments and their achievements and all of those things. But also, ladies, we have to take care of us, because if we don't, other things could happen. So I am wishing everyone an amazing second quarter as we close out Women's History Month. Going into second quarter, I wish all of you ladies an amazing, not just the ladies and gentlemen too, but amazing second quarter. Whatever you did not get to do first quarter, pick it up in second quarter. You still have time to find your purpose, to operate in your purpose, on purpose, whatever that might look like for you. If you need help with finding it, make sure you go to my website, elladestiny.com, schedule your one-on-ones, your coaching classes, all of those things, because that's what it's all about. Just helping everybody to step into their next, whatever that looks like for them. And for you, thank you so much for being who you are, for stepping in. That's the thing. We got to make sure that we have people around us that can make sound decisions for us, even when we don't want to hear it, even when we feel like we can go on and on and on and we can do all the things. We need people that'll say, you know what, this is not a good idea. I don't care what you say. I'm going to make an executive decision and an informed decision to say, hey, this is not happening. She needs to rest, take care of herself. So make sure y'all know who in y'all circle, who's for y'all, who's going to make those decisions when you feel like, when you're making decisions based off of adrenaline and all of that stuff, and instead of making decisions that are best for you. So I thank you so much for being who you are. I thank you all for joining us. It's time for us. Let's go into second quarter. Take second quarter by storm. Whatever you did not get to do in first quarter, you still got time second quarter. Ladies, if you are suffering with fibroids, if you're not sure, if you have questions, you can inbox me. You could go to our website, www.usafibroidcenters.com. The telephone number is there. Schedule your consultations. Don't go through this alone. Don't go through this without your questions being answered. All of the information is there. So thank you all for our Fibroid Fact Friday. We will be back next Friday with more information. We're going to be talking to the men. We're going to get some more men on here. And we're just going to bring y'all all that y'all need to know so that y'all can support us and help us, because we know that everything comes from a woman. So we have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you, Danye, for joining me. And I will see y'all next time. Enjoy y'all weekend.